welcome
Okay.
back to the hashtag Ivy My Everywhere podcast. It's a podcast to promote the Ivy My platform. I today had the pleasure of speaking with Boris Konan. Really, thanks so much for joining.
Oh, thanks for having me. Oh, man, been looking forward to it. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's really nice to be to finally get a chance to talk with you. It's a unique situation you're in. I like to think of ourselves as like the future of the IBMI platform,
I love
kind of
that.
the youngins. And looking at your background, perhaps the most interesting thing to me was that you're if you look carefully, you're not always in IBMI space. You were more of like a Java developer, and
Yeah,
can you maybe
front
talk a
end.
little bit
Yeah,
about some of that, like how you transitioned from Java over to IBMI and kind of what drew you to the IBMI. So love to hear a little bit about that.
sure. So I was doing like a lot of front end development, and I liked it big time for sure. And at some time, I wanted like some change. I want to explore something different. And even when I applied to that job, when I saw this job, so software developer, that was the title, and I looked through it, and like, oh, we'll use some of your JavaScript stuff, front end stuff. But the main skill that we're looking for was RPG. When you hear of RPG, what do you hear? What do you think of? It's a video game. I said, oh, what is that? And then I Google and I saw a report, program generator. I said, okay. And I applied anyway. I was like, oh, even though I don't know much about that, but I was relying on my JavaScript, skills to like learn the job. And so it was kind of a leap of faith, as they call it. So I went on the interview and I was honest. They say, have you ever gone into RPG before? I said, no, never. But I do other things. Say, oh, okay. Well, we'll, train you if you're willing to learn. Yeah, we should be good to go. And yeah, the interview was smooth. Like I said, leap of faith. When I started, they paid some courses for me from the great Jim Buck. I always have to mention his name. Great guy.
Of course.
Yeah, we buddies. He's a legend. And Greenback, the whole onboarding was smooth. Training was good. And then after 6 months, I was kind of ready to go. Started to like dive into some little code of little programs of the company a little bit, and then the rest is history, I would say. So yeah, great leap of faith, and also the journey to it. I was wanting to like explore out there. I wasn't really afraid. I said, hey, let's see what's out there. I knew I was very confident in myself, and what I can say that sometimes, even if you don't have everything of what they're looking for, you still have something that they don't have. So they'll bring you on board and use that while you're learning on the job.
Sure.
And then, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's really interesting to hear that and hearing how you went from being and taking that time and the effort and that you keep on using the word leap of faith. That's a really big thing and can you share with some of the community about what was like going from that JavaScript world and now what do you experience day to day with with RPG? Are you
Yeah.
finding back to run
Yeah.
back there to the JavaScript? Are you enjoying the RPG?
So when I got to the RPG world, I think you use that term. I would say the resources out there were kind of limited. Unless you know someone, or unless you kind of take some private courses, it's kind of hard to like have a bunch of information on internet about it. It wasn't as like out there like front end stuff. So there was a struggle a little bit. But as I knew one guy that was Jim Buck, the guy I was taking the courses from. I'll always like go to him to like figure out a few things. Even so, the good thing about him, when you're done taking his courses, you can still attend his kind of weekly sessions to
Hmm.
kind of ask questions. That's key because even you kind of struggle or some project at work, is willing to like meet you halfway and figure out something. That right there kind of helped me, kept going. And then like I said, like what if I'm doing back JavaScript backend for RPG? It's kind of amazing because now as both four are coming together, to me it's kind of everything. I was doing RPG like heavily for like on the first 6 or first year actually, and the fact that what I'm doing right now has to also do with the front end stuff. What you're doing something in the back end, you have to have it. You need to make it available to the user. So can you build something as front end and then connect them? Boom. I did a project like that and I was very happy. I said, oh, okay, it's all coming together. So you
That's
never really
amazing.
lose
You
anything.
were able to blend both those things.
Tell me
That's
about it.
the beautiful thing. And
Yeah,
I think that's important for people to hear that as they're
yeah.
looking to
Mhm.
get people like yourself in, like, and train them for RPG, because then you have a different, unique skill set that it's being able to meld both worlds, which is that front end development. I think and that and also the back end, putting them together really makes you
Yeah.
very dangerous, essentially. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Learn enough to be dangerous.
This is a question for you. I think that when you're talking about Jim Buck and obviously he's a big main force in our community, but I think the key word that needs to be focused on is community. Can you share a little bit about your thoughts around community
Sure.
in the IBMI world?
No, I read it somewhere. I'm not gonna uh, steal it from someone, but they say community is a new currency. Yeah.
Yes,
So it's
sir. Yes,
everything.
sir.
It's everything. When I went to my first Navigate conference, I was first surprised that the companies that were there were the company that we use on a daily basis. And you think they rely on the most modern technology, but you look at them, they have like IBM, they are IBM apps as well. I was like, whoa, that right there kind of opens my mind. So if there's so much company relying on IBMI, that must be a group of people over there that maintain it, that talk about it. And then, lucky for me, I joined a user group called WMCP. Actually, they asked me to be their webmaster. So
Hmm.
there was that. And also, as I was going to those conferences, I'll connect with people and then I stay in touch with them and reach out to them. And this is something very important. I was working on some very tough project. I was slightly mildly. I actually reached out to someone that I met at a conference to help me out. We did it like on screen share and figure he helped me out. You see how
Well, it's like
amazing
you
it is?
reached out to someone at a different firm to help you with what you have, and they helped you through that.
Yeah, that's everything. Yeah, it's not like
That's
showing you.
amazing.
Yeah, it's not even
That
showing you the answer. It's walking you through. It just like meet you halfway, explain your problem. It's just like so collaborative. That's
and
everything.
you met him just by like at a conference, and then
Yeah,
you kept in touch with them, and then
yeah,
that's how it happened.
yeah,
What an amazing
and
story.
yeah. So
That's
that's
awesome.
yeah. Thank you. So
Oh,
okay,
wow. I
I
mean,
love what
that's,
I'm doing. Yeah,
I see that all the time. I mean, it really is. I think that's what you're honing on and is we're gonna share with a lot of these messages in these podcasts is that being part of the community is super important. And to your point is that being able to just to have a person just to ask the questions, they could be, I mean, as we were talking about, like we're part of the new generation of IBMI folks, and the ability to have the connections with the people that know a little bit more than we do is really
yeah.
important. And does that extend beyond that? Like, have you ever had any other stories with other people helping you out with other things as well?
And well, I've always something I've learned throughout and doing all of that taught me about life overall. Like when you want something or when you're looking for something, at least meet that person halfway. Don't come empty-handed. Have you done your researches? Can you come with some use cases? Have you tested it? So that when you go to that person, hey, I'm encountering this and difficulty, but here's what I've done so far, here's output. That right there just like laid out the foundation to that person to just like hop in and help you out. That's what I can share. It teaches you about life too. Well, you have a situation in front of you, what the steps that you've taken and what the result so that when someone chime in try to help you, it doesn't start from scratch. It just part you through. That's what I can say as my motto. Yeah,
That makes total sense. I mean, coming in prepared is really the
yeah.
main thing in life. Is if you don't come in without like the people are like, why am I doing the research with you?
To add to that, that made me very fearless to ask for help or look out for help because I go with something. I say, hey, I've done something here. And I think even Steve Jobs mentioned something like people are afraid to ask for help. And he said, you will ask for help as well. I said, wow, even if you great Steve Jobs was asking for help. We weren't seeing that, but he will ask for help as well. So, hey, it's allowed to ask for help. Sometimes we feel like it shows that we're vulnerable, but no, it's you trying to like figure out something. So
No, I totally agree with that. I
yeah,
mean, being able to, and I think that structure of being able to ask that type of question and
yeah,
structuring the question is the most important
yeah.
part because that I think that if you're not comfortable with the question you're going to be asking, how are you going to be able to ask the question? And the question for you is, as you're looking at the IBMI in general, like where do you see the platform going in the future?
I think the platform is first of all here to stay and keep evolving. So as we move forward, I know a lot of companies gonna try to like cut some of the costs of their architecture, all that thing. IBMI seems to be cheap in that department, right? So people start looking at that, and it's very powerful for backend stuff. And in fact, it's trying to, close the gap between them and the open source world. Now people are able to use like Node.js, all of that on the AI, using a container or just using like Linux, all that. This writer is like, oh, okay, we don't have to like leave our legacy code here. You still can like interact with modern things, even with API, all of that. So I see the platform becoming bigger, and look at you doing a very good job at highlighting companies that use that. I'm always in awe when I see that. I say, wow, those companies are using that, and it turns out it's the product we use on a daily basis. And I was like, wow. So the fact that more awareness of that platform, it's just more openness and more people will start to embrace that more. Because we think RPG, we think green screen and think it's old, but it's mature, it's secure, and it's it's there, it's solid. Yeah.
I think that, and as we are going to continue embracing open source and as well as AI and all the other newer technologies and being able to using the APIs and ETLs and whatever it takes to get it to talk to the other and newer systems is going to be the and to your point.
To add to that, like I said,
sure.
Going to user groups, we have one here in the Midwest. I'm in Wisconsin called WMCPA. Yesterday we have two speakers who works at RBMI. Also, the folks at RBMI, they're just working to bring new features that answers like users or like companies' demand. So IBM isn't sitting there and waiting. They're just also like working to bring new stuff that's useful. So I think the fact that they try to stay up to date with modern technology, modern demand when it comes to businesses, it's just the game changer. Yeah.
Yeah, totally true. Well, Boris, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And if anyone wants to be a guest, feel free to reach out to me. And thanks so much and have a great one. Thanks so much.
Oh, you too. Thank you. Bye.